समाए, जो इसे अपनाए उसको सारे रंग मिल जाए। बीती बातों को भूले, अपनों को गले लगाए, प्रेम और आनंद के रंगों में हम रंग जाए। जीवन अपना धन्य बनाए, विकारों की होली जलाए। जीवन अपना धन्य बनाए, विकारों की होली जलाए। होली आई 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 आई, होली आई रे होली आई रे, होली आई रे होली आई रे, होली आई रे होली आई रे, खुशियाँ लाई रे लाई लाई रे। होली आई रे होली आई रे, होली आई रे होली आई रे, होली आई रे होली आई रे। हाँ।
Shanti, Sister Jayanti.
Om Shanti Arnavan.
I don't know whether we were having yoga or dancing in that music. The song was a holy song. I mean, a song for Holi, which is the festival, because Baba's Murli is based on Holi. So just a quick story. The story is that it was actually Holi time when Baba wanted to feed jalebi to the children. And it was during the beggary part, and there was no ingredients for jalebi. Jalebi is that orange, round, very sugary, syrupy, fried, but loved by all. And then what happened is that on the mountaintop, there was a couple, and the wife had felt that she wants to donate the money to the yajna, to these kumaris, these pure kumaris. But the husband said that, no, my guru has told me that I have to donate to somewhere else. And so they were having a bit of an argument about this. And then in his sleep, in his dreams, he was told to go and donate this money to the Brahma Kumaris. And so that morning, Baba, the children, Mama, they're all heading out for a walk. And again, funnily enough, Baba says to Mama, Mama, you wait here at the gate, because that lady who's coming, she's coming to see you. And that lady had come to bring a donation, an envelope of donation. Because then the husband said, no, I was also told in my dreams to give it to these pure Kumaris. And then that's how they got the ingredients, and they fed jalebi to everyone. So very sweet how things just come alive. Baba has one thought and it just happens. Thank you, Sister Jayanti, and welcome everyone.
Thank you. And this time they've celebrated the stage in Madhuban and Om Shanti Bhavan in the form of a garden. And it's done very beautifully. And so Baba's appreciating all of that. And so the first part of the Murli is about how you are the ones who see the beauty of the first garden of the golden age. And so you are the ones who are the lords of nature, the lords of matter. And so you have that great fortune of seeing that very first beginning of the golden age, when nature is at its height of beauty. And even today, nature can be very beautiful. But of course, the contrast of the end of Kali Yuga of nature and the beginning of Satyuga of nature is a difference between night and day. And so Baba appreciating the efforts of the children and the work that the children had put in. But of course, Baba's seeing the reality of the garden, of the flowers, the living flowers of God's garden. And so Baba appreciating those living flowers enormously. And Baba saying that well, you're the ones who actually have experienced that first experience of the golden age, but also here. But what you have to do is, as masters of nature, the lords of nature, whether you're seeing the beauty or whether you're seeing the upheaval, because at the present time we are seeing a lot of upheaval of nature. But either way, you're able to sit on your stable seat so that you're able to see both things with equanimity. You see the beauty of nature in the golden age, you see the upheaval, but neither of those things creates any upheaval. So no excitement about the golden age, but also no upset, because the way nature is behaving today is creating a lot of upheaval. And Baba saying that, well, you're the masters, the lords of nature, and you know that it's a whole game. And so 5 of the elements of nature and 5 of the vices of Maya. And so all of these come to you one by one at some point to test you and shake you. But if you're able to stay on that inner stage of stability and watch everything as a detached observer, then that seat of the detached observer is so powerful and beautiful that you won't be shaken by either the elements of nature or the games that Maya is playing. They're players in a game. So of course they're going to be testing you. They're playing games. But you have to be the ones up above, the lords, the masters, and you're able to watch all these games going on and treat it just as a game without allowing it to shake you on any level whatsoever. And then the roses, the flowers. All of you have changed your form since becoming Brahmins. There has been so much transformation in each and every child. But yes, there's a difference, a uniqueness in everyone's form and color. But also, there are some who have fragrance, and the fragrance is number wise, and the fragrance is the fragrance of purity. And so Baba commented on how the fragrance of purity comes not only through fragrance in terms of physical relationships, but also in terms of the mind, where the mind is connected just simply to the one. Now that is true celibacy, true brahmacharya. And then purity, celibacy, also in terms of relationships. And today in Oxford, somebody asked the question, well, what is all that about? And the word for lust in Hindi is kam, but it's also connected with kamna, desires. So my understanding when Baba's saying that every relationship should be filled with brahmachari, with celibacy, no desires, no kamna, no desires of any form whatsoever. So when you and I interact, what is the quality of our interaction? If I come to you with a motive, and then I'm bargaining with you about how to fulfill my desire, and you come to me probably the same, well, that's not purity in relationships, that's a business. And so purity in relations where there's nothing that I want from you because I'm content, I'm full. Baba has given me everything. So there's ignorance of the word desire. So that would be one aspect of the purity in relationships. And then purity in my sanskaras. And so it's so deep within the soul that there's no need to actually work at it. It's just a very natural state of purity on all levels that expresses itself in a beautiful way that's completely free and easy. No struggle, no effort in that whatsoever. And then, having talked about purity and that stage in which there's the fragrance, Baba said there's a lot more to this, a lot more detail. But today is a day of celebration. So I'm not going to take you into very deep waters, even though Baba did later on. Baba's going to just let you relax and enjoy and celebrate. And then, who is here to celebrate Holi? And Holi was the festival, but Holi then, Baba used the English term, holy hunts, the holy swans. And the two specialities of swans. The swans swim, and yes, you're swimming in the lake, the river, the water of knowledge. And then you're churning and swimming. And then they also fly. And so you're able to reach that highest stage of awareness through flying up above and coming to that highest stage. And then Baba went on to talk about how the children love Baba, but Baba also loves the children. And Baba loves each and every child in the whole universe. And this is because Baba is the Father, the unlimited one. And in that unlimited consciousness, Baba wants to give every single child an inheritance. How is it possible that God comes on earth and all souls don't take something from God? If they only want mukti, well, that's fine. They can have that in their life. But also, those who want Jivan Mukti, they also will have to make the effort today to gain the reward for that period. And so both the children, and Baba's concerned about the whole world, and everybody will have the right for mukti, and whether they stay there longer or shorter time is number-wise. But the souls who have a direct connection with God, and you children are the ones who have taken direct birth through Brahma, but you are children of God. And even Brahma Baba used to say, don't remember me, remember the Father. And so in that awareness of being children of the one Father, then yes, you know that you have a right. You have right 3 times over, 3 inheritances, the double inheritance of Mukti and Jivan Mukti, but also you have 3 rights. Now you have the right over the Father's treasures of Gyan, of powers, of virtues. And then in Paramdham, where will you be? You will be closest to God. So that also is your right. And then, of course, in the Golden Age and Silver Age, you'll be receiving the reward of the efforts you've made today. And so 3 different types of inheritances and the right to be able to claim each and every one of all of these 3. And then speaking about Holi, Baba went on to say how there's the day in which there's the burning first, then the next day, there's the celebration of colors. And which is the color, which is the fastest color, the strongest color that doesn't fade, or even when you put it in water, the color holds fast. So it's the color of God's love. And so you souls who come so close to God have been colored by God's company. And so those qualities of God are definitely there within you. But yes, holy, and it means to burn away your weaknesses. Because while you have weaknesses, you can't celebrate, you don't experience that same happiness. But once you've burnt away the inner weaknesses, then you're going to be able to have a chance to actually experience what that pure joy, the celebration is all about. And so check and see what weaknesses still remain and deal with them and finish them completely. And then Baba took up how holy means ho gai. Whatever has finished is past. Because whilst you're being pulled into the past, when there are all these questions of why, what, and how, then that's such a huge drain of energy. And those thoughts don't allow you to have the tapasya. And so on the day of Holi, to make that determined commitment that I'm not going to let the things of the past pull me down. I'm going to put a full stop. And Baba emphasized again, just as he did the other day, that it's not just enough to say stop, but it needs to be absolutely a full stop, so that there is nothing anymore. It's completely gone. It's completely finished. And so when I learned to do this, then yes, that is holy, hogai. It's gone. It's over. Nothing more to be done. Absolutely. And then you can celebrate. And Baba also made this comment about a little mistake that you made. And it's a little mistake, but the impact of this little mistake is huge, is ginormous. Because what happens is that the things you should remember, you forget. And the things you should forget, you keep remembering. And so this topsy-turvy situation of not letting go of things I need to let go, but I keep remembering them and holding them. And the other where you say that I want to remember Baba, but I'm not able to remember. But you have a relationship with him. You have love for him. And so what happens? How come you're not able to remember? But yes, it's because of all those influences from the past on you. It's also because you're thinking too many waste thoughts, but this little mistake of remembering the wrong things and forgetting the important things like God and soul and Rama. If I keep doing this, then it's going to be a real tussle for me. It's going to be difficult. But to come to that stage where I'm stable on my seat and nothing can shake me. There can be Brahmin souls that come, it can be non-Brahmins that come, could be work people who come to do something at home. But whoever it is, whatever it is, no waste thoughts about any of them at all. I just need to focus on what I need to do and carry on with that inside. And then Baba very clear about the attention that double foreigners need to make, especially that there's unlimited service. And Baba always praises the children for everything done up until now. But also, what about self-service? And is it possible to make a combination of the two? So you're giving time to self-service, but you're also giving time to Baba's service. And when I do this, then I'm able to move forward comfortably. Otherwise, if service takes over and I haven't given attention to myself, what's going to be the result of that? What will be my future destiny? And then Baba saying that, yes, all of you also participated in the tapasya, but yes, the majority were in the second division, like Baba explained last time. And then first division ones also, Baba honored and expressed that love for them. And then Baba went to talk about what happens in the field of service and how so many souls have come to Baba. And this is 1992. So service had expanded across the world into many, many different countries. And Baba's saying that, what are you doing now? On the one side, yes, it was important to find the souls of the royal family, but also the souls of the inner family. And to be able to know that these are the souls who are going to be the rulers of the golden age. So what is it that is my aim? And what is it that I'm doing today? So on the one side, those souls have been prepared, the ones who are going to sit on the throne, but also the ones of the royal family. And then, what about the rest of the tree, the rest of the world? Baba's saying that it's so important to let the whole wide world know that God has come. And so, yes, that special focus and attention for serving the whole tree is so extremely valuable and important. And yes, it's a 75 years of celebration of Baba's service in Bharat, but it's also now that recognition that that freedom, yes, that's great, but Baba is giving us the real freedom. So at this moment, we can see how Baba's really come to give us the full inheritance, the double inheritance, or the three inheritances. Baba's made reference to all of these today. And so let me take all that Baba is giving and fill myself with that joy and that love, so that I too can be one who is like the Father, able to give to all others. The Father shows the Son. Now it's time for the sons to reveal the Father to the world. So very, very beautiful, Murli, as always. But again, one to reflect on, one to experiment with, and see where that takes you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Jayanti. Always a lovely synopsis every week. If we can just go back to this, we remember what we're supposed to forget and forget what we're supposed to remember. Gentlemen, if the soul is eternal and there is forever that recorded memory in the soul of everything that we've done, then how can we truly forget? Or is it that Baba's saying, yeah, okay, Pavitra, show it now. Gentlemen, we'd just like to show you the background that Bab Dada had. This is the garden. It's not a great picture, but gives you an idea. So this is the kind of garden that was created behind Baba during that original meeting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad people have found these photographs.
Thank you.
You can see it's a fairly young Dadi.
Yeah. So the point is, yeah, if the soul is has forever and a recorded memory of things, when Baba says forget, does he mean intellectually try to forget? What is your understanding of forget?
My experience of forgetting is that if there's something that's happened, the more I revise it in my mind, the fresher it stays, which is what we're supposed to do with Baba's Murli, to revise Baba's Murli in our consciousness so that then it's really, truly fresh in my mind and in my heart. And then if I want to forget, I have to make sure that it's not occupying space in my conscious intellect. It happened. Can I really, truly put a full stop and say, okay, that's drama, and not allow myself the possibility of going back and revisiting that scene again and again. So that's my experience of forgetting or remembering. And the other thing connected with that is, say, for example, something happened in your last birth, and 99% of the time, maybe 99.9% of the time, given the world's population, we don't remember the things of our past birth. It's there recorded in the soul. And then sometimes it comes across if there's very, very deep experiences and those sanskars manifest at that time. Now in this birth also, that's a possibility. But generally, sanskars also finish with that body through which I played that particular role. And so that's then the full stop. And that's happening automatically. 0.001% people have a clear picture of things of their past birth. And even then, you don't know which past birth. They've also had many past births. So when did that happen? But we don't even take it too seriously and deeply, in the sense that I know what I now need to do in terms of finishing the past and being in the present, so that in the present, I'm sowing good seeds to create a good future. And so I think that let me focus on what I need to do.
Yeah, that's very nice. Somebody's put up a question. I think we'll take it now. So they're saying that with regard to this question, they're saying that, you know, if we've made a mistake, then there is severe punishment that's associated with it. And so it's even more difficult to forget. And so there's fear and worry that comes with it. So it's a bit like that impression is ingrained in the soul. So basically we have to have some very strong trigger to erase that. But I guess God's love can do that, right, gentlemen?
It is the only thing that can help me deal with that, because something's happened that's been very painful for me. And yet today I'm in God's remembrance. I'm feeling God's love, and God's love is working like a balm and is soothing everything and is removing the pain, and the wound is being allowed to heal. And the only problem is that if I again and again emerge the negative thing, then on the one side, Baba's trying to heal me with his love. And on the other side, I'm emerging and awakening that memory of pain more than once. So I have to learn to really be able just to say, okay, I've been honest with Baba, and now it's finished, it's done. Now I have to rectify that through yoga power, not through anything else.
So, gentlemen, as you're speaking, this thing of lack of self-respect, that also comes from that, isn't it? The fact that I might have done something wrong in a previous lifetime, and so maybe I'm embarrassed about it or guilty of it, and then it leaves this trace in a way, because the actual sanskar we don't see, but the trace is that we lose some sense of confidence, some sense of self, right?
I think the lack of self-respect and that dignity is very much more at the present, in the sense that whatever I did in the past, I don't even remember now. And so, yes, it's laid a sanskar, it created a karmic account. But at this moment, if I come to the awareness of being a child of God, and I hold that awareness, my self-respect is going to come back. But yes, the awareness of being a child of God, but secondly, to follow God's instructions in my life. There's a very beautiful passage that Baba spoke in this Murli, in which Baba is saying that even if there's a child who insults me, it's okay. My role as a father is to give the child the inheritance. And so whatever mistake anyone has made in the past, Baba is willing to forgive that. But I have to make sure that I don't keep emerging any thoughts of the past on any level. And certainly most of us don't have clarity in terms of where we were in our past birth. And thank God we don't, because it will be just another big chapter to be able to deal with. And so I'm content. Whatever has happened in the past, it happened in ignorance. But today, Baba is giving me my self-respect. Can I hold on to that and make it work for me? And so if today I have that awareness of being that shining star, and I begin to see others with that same vision of that shining star, how different would my behavior be?
Yeah, I was thinking this also when we heard the Murli yesterday, that when Baba's saying he gives the inheritance, I was thinking he's even giving to the one who doesn't want it. Like a father who may, give it to some child who's sulking and saying, it's okay, just take it, whether you use it or not is another thing. So, because it's Baba's duty to just give it, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it was a very beautiful passage.
Yeah. Another point, gentlemen, what does it mean now to be masters of nature at the confluence age?
We saw it in the Dadis. There was Dadiji with her back in pain, and they gave her this big belt to put on. And then she was in hospital for such a long time. And yet when we'd go to see her, her face would be sparkling. Forget about what was happening from here onwards, but her face was always sparkling. And so the Lord of nature, the Lord of matter, the Lord of the 5 elements. The elements are playing their games, but Dadi is up above. And of course, with Dadi Janki again, through the night, she wouldn't sleep because of her cough. And then next morning, here she is conducting class, reading the Murli and enjoying the class, and all of us enjoying it with her. So truly, the master of nature, Dadi Gulzar, in the 80s, she had cancer. Now, how many years after that she continued to serve? 30 plus years. Just imagine, that is the conquest of matter. So really, it's been incredible to witness this and to know that they're human, I'm human, I can do the same if I choose. And the practice is just to be stable here. And so can I stay in that awareness of who I truly am?
Yes, and also stories of when Dadi used to go to places and the sun would start shining when it was supposed to rain.
Yeah, and at one point, she's at Ahmedabad airport and she's waiting to fly to Delhi to catch an international flight somewhere, Philippines or something. And the flights all seem to be grounded because it's monsoon time, it's August time. Then she suddenly notices that it's come up on that screen that there's a flight going to Pune. And she has Hansa and Indu from Leicester, now from Leicester, with her. And so she sends them off to check it out. Is this for real? And they say, yes, it is. The flight is leaving soon. And so they speed up the process, catch that flight, go to Pune, and Dada Govind, who is the instrument to organize the visit for the Dadis to Japan for the religious conference in 1952. He's about to leave, and it's like he's waiting, just waiting for Dadi's arrival, because he had a very, very close spiritual connection with Dadi, all the Dadis, but especially Dadi Janki, because when he had been a little boy, he'd come with his mother and grandmother into the Om Mandli. They brought all the kids with them. And then he and his brother stayed in the Om Mandli, and it was Dadi who is the person responsible for what they call boy bhavan, the bhavan of all the boys, because the boys were quite mischievous and Dadi had the love and spiritual authority to manage them. So she'd been in charge of that. And so there was a special bond. And he's waiting for Dadi. Dadi arrives, gives Srishti, and the soul leaves. And Dadi asks him to organize the cremation like instantly. And they do that. So she even attends the cremation. And then she catches her plane back to Delhi. And she's able to catch her international flight. Now, suddenly, the rain stopping. It's monsoons everywhere in India. But the rain stops for her to fit in this little visit and still catch her plane. On a human level, a normal level, we'd say, Daddy, it just doesn't work. How can you go there and come back and you don't know what's going to happen with the flights? But for Daddy, there was no question. Duty calls. This soul is remembering Baba and me. I have to go and be with the soul. So that's Lord of Matter, nature. I don't want anyone to experiment with this. Because I don't want you to be missing flights and things. But definitely the Dadis did have this magic ability.
Yeah. Gentlemen, if you would allow me, can I take a minute to share our story of Kuwait?
Please do.
I'm not a Dadi, and maybe it's just a coincidence. But we were organizing a Diwali program, and it was in that big house with the swimming pool. So we had thought that we would put tables outside and do a proper thing and serve the people, and we were trying to invite good quality souls to participate. And Brother Saud was also inviting some of his friends, and then we're cooking all day, preparing everything. And then suddenly there's a sandstorm. And it's about 4 o'clock. And then Brother Saud phones me because he's got these important people coming. And then, and there's one line he said that really kind of killed me. And he said, "Where is your Baba now?" And I said, "Okay, Brother Saud, okay. And I just, hung up. And then I told everyone who was in the house helping, I said, "We're going to go now and sit in Baba's room and meditate." And honestly, we just meditated for 15, 20 minutes. And I really spoke to Baba from my heart. And I said, "Baba, it's about your honor." And genuine, honestly, 5 o'clock onwards, I don't know whether the wind or whether the cloud was, sandstorm was meant to pass, but it all passed. And then again, everybody got together, cooperated to set up everything, and the show went on. So that was, I never forget that. I think also when we really reach out, Baba, with that, your heart.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, another question that we were discussing here is, so Baba says the color is fast, right? In English language, fast means it's very strong, like you cannot remove it. So the thing is, yeah, gentlemen, why does the color come off? And in your experience, personal experience, how to keep the color strong and fast?
I think we get careless in terms of soul consciousness, and we get a bit lazy in terms of churning gyan and keeping our intellect clear and clean. And so Baba's there, but now there's a human influence that's coming in because I'm not paying attention. And so Baba's goes into the distance, and the new color of influence of the human soul takes over. And this is then what makes me move away from God. And then I'm into stray avenues of other things. And if I'm lucky, if I've done enough good karma, Baba sees this and Baba finds a way to pull me back. And if I haven't done so much good karma that God should intervene in this way, then maybe I need to hit the bottom and feel the pain and then say, yes, I'm going to now make effort. I know what made me fall. It wasn't anyone out there. It was me and my sanskars that made me fall. My sanskars of carelessness and laziness, and maybe even just simply comparing myself to others instead of knowing that I, as a child of God, and you as a child of God, we both have amazing qualities that have been given by God. But now you've got other things to do also. And so let me now make sure that I pay attention and don't allow anything else to interfere, and just allow God's color to come on me.
So gentlemen, I just got reminded of today's Murli. Would you like to comment on today's Murli? It was a little strong, but maybe a little connected.
Today's Murli was very much explaining the difference between those whose surrender is such that they come and live in a center, and the karmic philosophy behind all of that, and then others who, according to their part in drama, stay with their family, but yet some of them create such an elevated consciousness that they're actually further ahead than the ones in the center. And so the ones in the center, they've been surrendered, God is looking after them, God is responsible for them on every level, but yet still they haven't practiced enough soul consciousness. They haven't made sure that their thoughts are pure and powerful. And so in that situation, they begin to make mistakes. And as a result of those mistakes, then of course, there's a huge loss. And Baba's saying, it's okay, you're still my child. But that loss means that then what is their future? Baba explained all of that. And then here's a soul who lives at home and is making good effort but for whatever reason doesn't have the possibility of coming and staying at a center. And Baba's saying that these souls are also very pure, elevated souls. And so you have both types of souls. And so the ones who really are surrendered and are obedient and are sweet, Baba's calling them his lovely children. Baba enjoys meeting them. Baba's able to give special blessings and love and help. And the other side where, yes, in theory, I love Baba, but to what extent is it the feeling that's motivating whatever I do in my life through my heart? And if really it's Baba who's the number one in my heart, then I'm not going to give space for anyone or anything else. And so let me see, do I feel I belong to Baba, Baba belongs to me? Absolutely, genuinely, because that's where Baba will be facing. So that for me is a summary of the Murli. Body consciousness, soul consciousness, and truly belonging to Baba can happen only through soul consciousness. Again, this morning in Oxford, a question, Baba said, through service, you can become soul conscious. And actually it was also that without service, you can't be soul conscious. And so my understanding of that is, if I'm isolated in my own comfort zone, then no matter how hard I try, I may think I'm soul conscious, but as soon as I step outside and there are many other souls to contend with, then is it their sanskars coming on me or my sanskars coming on them? You can see it's not such an easy situation, but if in that situation, living at home, you make sure you're so soul conscious that the outside doesn't influence you on any level, you stay influenced only by God. And so soul consciousness and body consciousness came in a lot. Some who are concerned only about their own bodies.
Thank you, gentlemen. And also something else you were saying this morning, and a question came up. So, gentlemen, what is the difference between the rulership of Narayan and rulership of Ram? Like, do you feel there's any slight difference? Kingdom, we know, but in their style of leadership, is there any difference you feel?
I think that the Emperor Narayan is so absolutely powerful that absolutely everything under his watch is perfect. Everything moving in synchronicity, not just humans and nature, but humans and humans, or those who are governing and those who are governed, the kings, the queens, and the subjects. Everybody's in that state of perfect harmony, or you could say operating on that same frequency. And this is the spiritual authority, the power of Narayan. And that power gradually diminishes. And it's a different person who's Narayan, but by then the frequency is the same one. The reduction in the purity frequency is the same. And so there's a slight difference, and so on, until you get to the ninth one, who is by then Rama. And by then, the little bit of difference that's visible is that it's not so easy to catch each other's signals. It takes a little bit of explanation. And so things take longer. Things aren't as smooth or as seamless as they are in the Golden Age. Now, Baba hasn't clarified that detail, but I'm just thinking about it and feeling what that difference would be. And I think because so much depends on communication, and the communication in Satyuga is you just pick up each other's signals, each other's thoughts in a very immediate way, everyone on that same frequency. And then in Rama's kingdom, it takes time. You have to explain yourself a little bit, not too much.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. We'll move to the chat questions. So in the Murli of 25th August, Baba said, renounce all the religions of the bodies and consider yourselves to be souls. What is full understanding of all the religions of the bodies?
all the things that I get caught up with. Definitely, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew. Do I still have that consciousness, the religion into which this body was born? Or is my consciousness that I'm Baba's child and the family around me are Baba's children? We're following the Brahmin code of conduct. It's the Brahmin culture, a way of life. And so I've let go of that. I think most people have to a greater extent, but explore it a little bit further. And then this thing about culture comes in. And my Western culture, my Asian culture, my Oriental culture, now it relates to food, it relates to style, it relates to so much. And, you know, some people will say, but what can I do? This is my culture. This is how I've been brought up. This is how I live. This is how I know how to be. I don't know any other way to be. But am I soul conscious? Am I aware of what Baba's teaching me? And am I aware of what it is I need to do to get away from that? I have to say also the whole thing of nationalism and language, my, anything. And it's a bodily religion. Now translate religion as a way of life, dharma. Dharma is dharana, a way of life. It's also my religion, but it's also the state of being. And so bodily religion in that sense includes all of these things, or even gender consciousness. Now, how fixed are we in all of that? I am male, and so this is how my household should be run. I am female. I know how things should be. And so things should be specifically in a different way. Color. I am black. I am brown. I am white. I'm not. I'm a soul. And all souls are beautiful, golden, light, radiant beings. I'm not white. And that idea where, say, for example, I think I'm not racist, but I have this awareness that my country or my land or my culture is the best of all. Now, that is racism. Now, the other way, where I actually feel that, you know, because my religion or my culture, my gender, my anything is the best, then obviously my vision towards others is going to be very different. And I don't think I'm racist or this, that, and the other, but I can see the difference. I can see all that is going on. It takes a lot of deep practice of soul consciousness and catching myself where these thoughts are coming from, to clean myself of all of that and really then come to the stage of where I see each one as my equal.
Yeah, lovely. And did you mention profession?
No, but that's very much part of the bodily religion, correct?
So whatever you learned, you always speak from that.
Yeah.
A doctor will always think, oh, I'm the doctor. I can treat everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, gentlemen. So there's another question here that Baba had said that those who have created their stage can remove many other souls from their difficult situations. Does Baba mean that they will have the power to face the situation, or what does he mean?
If I'm stable in a difficult situation, I can find a way to reach another and help them see things more clearly so that they know what they need to do. I can't do something for them, but I can help them see things more clearly, which is what Baba has done for us. Baba, first of all, gives us the insight with which to understand what's going on. And then secondly, Baba gives us the power. And yes, also being in the company of a pure, powerful soul, you also are empowered and you feel, yes, I can do this. When you weren't in that company, you thought, oh my God, this is going to be so difficult. And yet in that pure company, you felt empowered. Daddy asking me to go to London. And I said, no, Daddy, because I really didn't feel I had the capacity. And then when Daddy herself came, it was such a powerful experience that her power just lifted everything and made everything so different and so easy.
Nice, thank you, gentlemen. Somebody is asking, do you think that the double foreign Brahmins, this is their second birth as a Brahmin?
I wouldn't say it's all of them. I mean, there's now how many thousands of double foreign Brahmins. It's difficult to guesstimate, but I'd guesstimate at say 20,000, 25,000, something in that region. And I don't think 25,000 souls were in the yajna and I've left the yajna. So maybe you're counting absolutely everyone right till now, but some are. It's very clear that some are, but that's not necessarily giving them an advantage. I think that, their drama was such that they physically died and left the yajna. I don't think they left the yajna in that conscious way, but they died and left the yajna. And so there was a gap in between until they got to understand Gyan and then start practicing the path of spirituality. So it might be a few, but I don't think all.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. Just a few more questions, short maybe answers. So it's regarding what you were sharing earlier about sanskars being carried forward within the soul. So Sister Jayanti said there's a full stop to sanskars when leaving the body. So the question is, which sanskars are carried over to the next birth?
Did I say full stop to the sanskars?
I think the other sanskars.
Okay, my understanding is that, and that's what I would usually say, that the memories of the last birth finish. And it's not the memories that get carried on. That's finished. Sanskars, I think, definitely, whatever are my sanskars at the end, are carried across to the next birth. That determines my whole future in that birth then. But it's the memories and the experiences in a conscious way. So if I did say sanskars, it was a slip of tongue, sorry. I'm glad the question's been asked so that I can sort it out now. But sanskars are definitely carried forward, but the memories and the conscious remembrance of what happened in that birth, that finishes. And maybe the trauma of that carries on. And that happens to some people. It's been such a traumatic experience that the child is born and the child is still carrying trauma. And so this is where the mother has great struggle with the child to calm the child, to pacify the child, to make the child happy. But there's some strong trauma that's being carried that's giving the child sorrow. And it's not lack of care and love and parenting and whatever is externally needed. It's the trauma.
Okay, and last question. Baba said, create subjects. So this person is saying, so does that mean only teachers create subjects? What about the rest of us who might be doing other service?
My service is in Baba's account, and my service and my dharana is what gives me my future. But yes, of course, even in whatever role I play, if I'm the embodiment of Baba's Gyan, that's giving others a message, a situation. There's some sort of mishap in the kitchen, the milk boils over, whether it's almond milk or cow's milk, but it boils over. Now, what is my response to that? It wasn't my fault, but I'm not going to shout and scream, who did this? what I'm going to do is, if I'm calm, I'll just switch off the gas or the electricity and then let it cool down, clean it up and sort it out. And I won't make a big hoo-ha about it. Now that's my dharana. And anyone seeing it is going to say, there's a different way to deal with things. And so the role of the soul is getting higher and higher through the karma it creates, the good karma and the dharana it has. So no, I don't think it's just by giving knowledge in words that you create your status. I think that it's in your dharana and how many souls you inspire to come closer to God. You might be giving great lectures, but then as soon as you step off the platform, then they see you behave in a way that's not coherent with that, then they're not going to be inspired. But whether you say very little or nothing at all, just your stage and the vibrations you share, that is going to give inspiration.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you. And yeah, just last story, that there was one of our students who had come to Global House many years ago. And one person, I think sister, was passing after she'd cleaned those bathrooms. She was passing that mezzanine where the reception is. And this person said that they just saw her as an angel. And they didn't even notice that she had got a bucket and all the cleaning tools. But it must be because that person was in such a, good stage that's what she reflected. Not that I'm a cleaner, but.
And when you have this thought, whatever I'm doing is for Baba, then Baba's in your eyes, Baba's in your heart, Baba's shining, and they see Baba.
Well, thank you so much, and you've been always rich as always. And thank you, everyone. We'll just end with some meditation.
Surrendering all, surrendering all, and find me here, Lord, as you draw me near. I'm desperate for you, I'm desperate for you. I surrender.